What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog time once again. That's right, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff to talk about today, including stuff that's going on in the industry, stuff that's going on with me personally, and just a bunch of random topics. So let's go ahead and get started. Grab your favorite vape, grab a comfy chair, sit back, relax, and let's vape. So I haven't done one of these things since last year, right? Because I took a week off. Yeah, I just really wanted a week to myself where I can just sit down and relax and just kind of compose myself for the coming year's content and just kind of think of things that I can do for, different types of videos and stuff like that for this year's worth of videos. And that's kind of why I just wanted a week off, just to chill out and, center myself essentially. So I took a week off from vlogging, and I'm kind of glad I did, because now I have even more stuff to talk about in this video here. And in fact, this video is actually delayed by a couple of days because there was a snowstorm in the Northeast, and I don't record at my house. This is a little studio that I have in the back of the shop that I work at, Voltage Vape in Enfield, Connecticut. So we actually shut down the shop a little bit early. We closed the shop because it was getting nasty out and the roads were getting pretty bad. So we ended up closing the shop up early. So I just wanted to get home and make it home safe and sound, which I did. So I'm kind of glad I waited to do this video. So there's that. So with that out of the way, first and foremost, we've got some first impressions of stuff that I recently got in. And first up on that list is this guy right here. This is the Coil Art Mage Combo RDTA. Now, this is kind of riding the same bandwagon as the iJoy, because the iJoy has something. It's almost identical to this, in fact, all the way down to one of the decks that they included with this thing here. Now, as you'll notice, it looks like a dripper, and it is. It is a dripper, but this is actually kind of like a transformer where you can actually take off the bottom plate, like so, and screw on the tank section, which is kind of neat. And obviously we'll go over this in the full review, but it goes from being a dripper to an RDTA in a matter of a few seconds, which is kind of a cool thing. I gotta tell you, I'm really digging that. Didn't think I would ever really have any interest in a product like this. But I'm kind of digging it. I gotta be honest with you. It's kind of nice to be able to go from one to the other in a matter of seconds. Like personally, I prefer dripping. I don't know, for some reason, I just like it. So for me to be able to put the tank section on, fill it up, and go on my journey somewhere, if I'm going home or whatever from work, I could just fill up a tank and be on my way, and then when I get home, I can actually either empty out the tank or finish it off or whatever, and then I can just transform it back into an RDA and drip again, which is really kind of a nice touch. You don't really even have to change your build or anything like that. One of the coolest things about this device is the airflow. It has not only bottom airflow, which is like Kennedy style, but also side airflow as well. So it's got tons of airflow. You can adjust it fully. You can shut off the bottom airflow if you wanted to. And it even has like these nice little kind of stoppers for the airflow. So I'm saying airflow too much, aren't I? Anyways, so it's cut the bottom airflow, which is nice. And the top airflow you could cut off completely if you want to just use the bottom section, which, I've been using it with a little bit of top airflow as well, and I really, really like it. Airflow, airflow, airflow. There, I'll stop. Another thing I like about it is the top cap section. It's got this nice kind of curved Delrin top cap, really nice. It doesn't heat up. It doesn't, collect lip gunk or anything like that. It's very sleek looking, very stylish, and I just like the way it feels when you vape on it. So, yeah, let's have a vape. So one of the only things that is concerning me right now with this device is that when I have it in RDTA mode and I go to fill up the tank section, I screw on the deck and it just kind of gurgles juice out the side. I don't know how better to describe that, but yeah, just kind of buzz juice out the side of it. And I was a little bit worried about that. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, are other people having this problem? So I actually hit up Grim Green about it, and he wasn't having the same problem. So apparently I'm doing something wrong here. So I'm going to have to figure that out before this thing gets its full review. I will try to figure out what I'm doing wrong in order to correct it and therefore give it a fair review, because I don't want to just instantly, call this thing out for leaking or anything like that, because I don't think that's right. I want to do a thorough investigation on the problem. Enough about that. Let's move on to our next thing. We've got the JUUL. Yeah, I've been testing out the JUUL for the past couple of weeks. I actually got this right after I got the Von Earl, actually. And I've been testing this thing out thoroughly through a couple of pods already. But I will be doing a full review on that. This is like my final pod system that I'm going to be taking a look at before I do my big comparison video. I know you've been hearing a lot about that if you've been watching all the pod system reviews. But with that, I'm going to be basically going through everything, like everything I like, dislike about all 4 devices, and just kind of comparing them and kind of arranging them in order of how I like them. I've used the JUUL before. Before I even bought my own kit, I used it when we first got it in, right when they first came out, really, and I really liked it. I don't know what I liked about it. I think it was just the fact that the flavor, the cool mint flavor, reminded me of when I used to smoke cigarettes, and that was like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great for smokers. This is going to help so many people quit. And then I kind of did a little bit more, investigating into it, and I found out about the whole nicotine salt thing, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time, I guess. I mean, when I heard it was 50 milligrams of nicotine, I thought I was reading the packaging wrong when I first read it, but 50 milligrams of nicotine, I was kind of shocked at first, I suppose, but then it was like, okay, well, you only get 0.6 mils in a pod, therefore they just crank up the nicotine level. And I gotta say, I go through a pod in about the same amount of time as I do with a 12 milligram variant of the Von Earl or the MyJet or whatever. So I'll actually go through way less liquid, but I'm getting more nicotine almost. So I think that's kind of a good thing, I got to tell you. Another really cool thing about this, I think one of the best features is the double tap. You tap it and it shows your battery life. I don't know if it's even going to come across on the video. But in any case, it shows your battery life. Just a simple little LED, green, yellow, and red. And that lets me know how much longer I have to vape on my JUUL before I got to charge it. Speaking of charging, it doesn't take very long to charge. Again, we're going to go over all of this stuff in much greater detail when we do our full review on it. But it doesn't take very long to charge it, which is definitely a good thing for me. The pull you get out of it is good. It's good. What more can I say? I like it. It's satisfying. It's plenty of nicotine, that's for sure. Whenever I feel myself getting stressed out, instead of reaching for one of my other devices that gives me so much more vapor production, I'll reach for the JUUL. And the reason behind that is just because it's a quick hit of nicotine and you can actually feel it. And that's kind of why I like this the most, I think, is the fast nicotine delivery. And yeah, let's have a puff on this one. Instantly you feel like, well, not lightheaded to the point when it makes you feel like something's wrong, but you get that head rush of like endorphins. It just gets you going. I don't know, but that's really cool. I really like the JUUL. I will be breaking it down and dissecting it and everything like that in a full review video coming up soon. But yeah, we'll have to save that for another time. Next up, we have this little guy here, the Coolfire Ace. I think I've showed you this before. It was in a video, I know that, but I don't think I really talked about it that much. Coolfire Ace, really cool device. It's kind of going along the same theme that Innikin's been doing with these small little devices. This is the Chroma that you saw, and also the Pebble. Well, now there's this guy here. It may look very familiar. It may look like the, what is it, Coolfire 4 or something like that. I never owned one, but I've seen a lot of people with them. Looks identical to this, except jumbo, a lot bigger. So they've kind of scaled this thing down, and they slapped a Slipstream tank on top, and I gotta tell you, definitely digging it. Really, really, really digging it. One of the coolest things is I've got my Serpent Mini here, and the Serpent Mini not only looks awesome on it, but also works awesome. I've got a single coil in here. It is a little bit low for this device. I think it's a 0.5, but like I said, looks awesome and also performs well as well. So there we go. Yeah, this one's 0.35, so it's a bit low for the device. However, it works great. So I'm just going to hit it right now at 35 watts. I mean, really, there's no argument there that that is plenty of vapor production. However, at 0.35, it doesn't make my battery last very long. Although with the slipstream tank that comes with it, the 0.8 ohm coils work amazing. I love the vapor I get out of the 0.8 ohm coils that you have here. I think these are regular just Kanthal coils too. So yeah, they sent me a whole bunch of different ones. I've tried the 0.8 ohm, I've tried the 0.5 ohm, and I got to tell you, I like the 0.8 ohm better. So let's go ahead and rip the slipstream tank here. Same wattage, 35 watts. This one is a 0.8 ohm coil. Again, stellar vapor production, really no complaints about that. But yeah, I'm definitely digging this guy. It's nice and small, pocket-sized, definitely powerful for its size. One bummer thing about it is compared to the Pebble is they only have, this one goes up to 40 watts and the Pebble goes up to 50 watts. So I kind of would have liked to have seen the Pebble guts in this frame here. Although they have a different screen on the Pebble as compared to the Coolfire Ace, I tend to like a little bit more wattage, even though it has the same battery capacity at 1300 milliamps. I would have liked to have seen just a tiny bit more wattage because it would have kind of broadened your horizons ever so slightly. But 40 watts isn't bad, especially at 0.8. I'd say anywhere from 0.5 to 0.8 ohms or maybe even 1 ohm is definitely acceptable for this little guy here. So if you're someone that likes vaping at either lower wattage or at a higher voltage, because this one also does voltage as compared to wattage as well, you can switch it from voltage mode to wattage mode, which kind of brings you back to like old school vaping, I guess. Like I don't know about you guys out there, but for me, my brain used to work in voltage as compared to wattage. Now, everyone's since been kind of rewired to accept the fact that voltage is the new wattage, I suppose you can say. I know a few people out there are going to hate me for saying that, but I'm telling you that's just a thing that happened. All of a sudden wattage came along and it was just a lot easier for most people to figure out, so wattage was the new standard. But you can adjust the voltage or wattage in this one, and I kind of like that. So if you're the old school vapor or something like that wants to vape one of these things at a higher voltage, or just be able to adjust that voltage to your preference, then you can absolutely do so with this one here. There's a lot more to talk about with this little guy here, but that's gonna have to wait for the full review. Anyways, so we have a few other things to talk about in this little intro section, one of which is the changes that have been going on with YouTube. And I gotta tell you, they're kind of shitty changes, to be honest with you, because YouTube apparently has been unsubscribing people that are not active on someone's page. So I know Grim Green talked about it in his latest vlog, Suck My Mod talked about it, and a lot of other YouTubers that I've watched that are not vape related have talked about it. So here I am talking about it too. If you guys haven't heard, if you are not active on a certain channel that you normally subscribe to, then they might actually kick you off. It might unsubscribe you automatically because you're not active on that channel. So bottom line is, make sure you're subscribed. I mean, if you're watching in full screen, switch to the windowed mode right now and just check if you're subscribed. And if you aren't, make sure you subscribe, obviously. And also, the other thing is, people have told me that they're not getting their notifications with YouTube. And that's another thing. Every time YouTube decides to update their terms and conditions or stuff like that, just slight little changes that they don't necessarily tell you about, they can actually set it up so that you stop receiving email notifications or text messages or whatever. And that's kind of confusing a lot of people, because certain traffic doesn't get your content delivered to them, and like certain people stop watching your videos or might end up not watching your videos because they are under the impression that you're not uploading, when in fact you are uploading. You're staying as active as you ever were, and they're just kind of not telling you about it. So if you would like to receive notifications, make sure you hit the little gear button. I think there's something right next to the subscribe button that you click, and that way you can sign up for notifications for every time I upload a video. You can get notified about it and watch it right away if you would like. With that, also, in certain circumstances when content creators like myself upload a video, it might end up subtracting subscribers from you, which is really odd. It doesn't sound like it's affecting the smaller channels as much, such as my own. However, the bigger YouTubers, even the ones with millions of subs, like, you know, the gaming channels and whatnot, they've been losing tens of thousands of people at a time in certain instances, which is absurd to me. I mean, you as the viewer have, you know, said, yes, I want to watch this content. I want to know when they upload videos. I want to follow this person and what what they're coming out with on YouTube. And here YouTube just goes, and there's really no explanation for it. No one has given a reason. YouTube really hasn't come out with anything. I did see a vlog, I think it was H3 Productions, had a vlog where they actually talked to someone at YouTube about it, and they kind of admitted that there was a problem with the algorithm, and they were working on it, and they're going to change it or something like that. But I think that was kind of YouTube's admission of guilt in a certain way. But in any case, I haven't noticed a significant change with my channel, but then again, as compared to some of the other channels out there that have millions of subscribers, it correlates with the number of subscribers you have. So for a smaller channel like mine, it might be, you know, 10 here or there. For a bigger channel like Suck My Mod or Grim Green, it might be, you know, 1,000 at a time, which is kind of nuts to me because that's a significant number of people, no matter which way you look at it. But in any case, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you get notifications if you want to. Yeah, and also the last little thing as far as YouTube is concerned that I wanted to talk about was likes and comments. Now, I don't beg for likes. I you know, say my little outro. It says hit the like button and all that stuff, but I try not to beg for likes, you know. But it does help. I will say that it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Everything YouTube based is all about algorithms. So for instance, if you get, you know, X amount of likes, then you're going to get boosted up in the search queue. If you get X amount of comments, the same thing. They could just kind of bumps you up. So yeah, likes and comments always help. It's engagement that YouTubers are looking for. So if I can get you guys to like and comment on my videos, then more people will be able to see that. It'll be boosted up in the search queue. It'll be put on the watch page more often, or similar videos. You know, if you look in the right-hand side of your screen, you might have some suggested videos. And that's going to happen more often with the people that get more likes and more comments. So all the likes help. If you dislike it, that helps too. Honestly, YouTube looks at it one and the same, likes versus dislikes. And I know there's always a couple out there that dislike, so what's up, Mr. Hater? Anyways, Breath Magazine. I'm pretty excited about this project. Kevin Skipper actually contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be a contributor to his new project that he's got going, which is Breath Magazine. It's a actual physical paper magazine. There is going to be a digital copy as well, but I'm excited to start writing again. I haven't written in a while, so this is kind of going to get my creative juices flowing, and I'm just pretty stoked to have a new little outlet for my creativity, I guess. So I'm still looking for stuff to write about, so I'm really not sure if they're gonna have me do stuff on reviews or little pieces here and there or something like that, but I don't know. I'm still looking for stuff to write about. I'd love to get your guys' input on maybe some topics that, you would like to see an article about in a vape magazine. But I will put links, of course, to Breath Magazine in the description below. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a website and everything going up pretty soon. As far as I know right now, there is a Facebook page that you can follow the day-to-day activities. So yeah, the first issue is going to be out late April, early May. That's going to be the May/June issue, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Of course, I'll keep you guys updated with stuff that's going on day to day with that. So one last thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we move on was the live stream update. Now, for those of you that didn't know, I was doing a live stream every Friday night called The Game of Awesome on the Vaping channel with my co-host Jay DeLuco of VCC Live fame. He does a show on Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. with Grim Green, Suck My Mod, and Kevin Skipper of VCC. So I was doing a show with him for a while, and it just kind of got stale and stagnant after a while. We kind of ended up bouncing around different vape show networks and stuff like that. So we ended up doing it on our own YouTube channel, the Vaping channel, and it just kind of got boring after a while. We wanted to just kind of bring some new life into it and hopefully get some more viewers. So I kind of mentioned the fact that I wanted to do it with him on my channel, and he liked the idea, so I think we're going to be doing that in the near future. He's going to be producing the whole thing, and I'm going to be coming up with topics and everything else, stuff to talk about. I really want to get some guests on the show, and I've already spoken with Grim Green. He said he's down. We just got to find a time that everyone's free and that we can record it and everything like that. But we will be doing, I'm going to guess, Friday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, things may change. You know, these ideas are just kind of floating up right now in the clouds or whatnot. But we are having a kind of brainstorming session coming up pretty soon, which we're going to come up with the new name and stuff like that. And it's just some random ideas, but I kind of wanted to include a little bit more, I guess, comedy to the whole routine, because obviously everything is super, super serious with this industry right now. And, you know, we got to, you know, be all adult about everything. But Friday nights for me are just a time where I can let loose and relax and swear and drink and just have fun with my friends, and that's really what it's all about. So we're going to come up with a new format pretty soon. Of course, all ideas, all suggestions are greatly appreciated, so make sure you comment in the box below of anything you want me to talk about, or if you want a certain guest on or something like that. Please, please, please suggest in the comments section, because I am all ears right now. I'm really up for anything. I'm down for suggestions or whatever you guys got. So please do me a favor and drop a comment below if you have an idea about a topic you want to talk about, or how you want the show structured. Do you want it, you know, more skits and goofy stuff, or do you want it more serious and topical? You know, just let me know. We are totally down to do whatever. With that being said, let's move on to our next segment. So you guys pretty much saw what I've been vaping on in the intro to this video, but I did want to go into a little bit more detail as far as the flavors and stuff like that. So with that, I've got the RX200 with the Coil Art Mage RDTA combo on it, and that has been working just fine for me. I got to tell you, I've been using it in RDA mode since I've been having the little leaking issue there, but I'm going to try to get it working again, obviously, with RDTA, because I like it like that. I've been having zero issues as far as the wicking is concerned or anything like that. I like the fact that you have a little tank of juice under there, so you can go on a short car ride or something like that without worry that your coils are going to go dry. I, for one, try not to drip and drive as much as I can. I try to be responsible, and I encourage that sort of behavior to you guys out there, but not everyone's perfect. But in any case, yeah, this thing has been working great for me. I love the shape of the mouthpiece. That's one thing I absolutely love about it. The flavor that I'm vaping on today is Bluebird, actually, wearing a hat. So Bluebird, and the reason I'm vaping that is because it kind of, I finished off that bottle of, what was it? It was that Captain Crunch flavor from Ronin. I forget what it's called. It's going to kill me. But yeah, I finished off that bottle, and I thought to myself, well, what's going to go well with that flavor? I really don't feel like re-wicking. And I said, Bluebird, it's got Captain Crunch crust. That's perfect. So it paired really nicely. It kind of, every now and then, you kind of have to just take a step back and vape something that you've vaped a million times and just kind of go, okay, this is like my standard. This is my baseline. Because I've been all over the place with my juice selections lately. It's been kind of crazy sweet fruit flavors and candy flavors, and then it was on to this and that and the other thing, and it's just been kind of scattered lately as far as what I've been vaping on. So I just wanted that standard, like, old classic flavor that I love so much, and that is Bluebird. And I gotta tell you, I'm super stoked on that decision because it's amazing. Bluebird, one of my favorite vapes of all time, and everyone should try it. So there you go. And yes, I know I need a new mod. This thing is starting to get old. It's starting to show its age. However, it still works just fine, and I hate to get rid of something that works. But I do plan on getting a new mod in the near future. Just something new. I don't know. I'm kind of needing that in my life right now. I need something new and shiny and pretty to look at. So it's probably going to be the RX200S, to be honest with you guys. But am I interested in the RX300? only for the battery life, really, just for the battery life. I think it's too big. It's pretty much the width of 2 rig pigs, which is a little bit too big for me. I've got big hands, and even that is a little bit too big for me, so not very high up on my list of things to buy. But moving on, we've got the rig pig and the roughneck V2 combo, of course. On here, I've got my standard fuse Clapton coils, which I will be doing a new rig pig build video. I got a suggestion for it from one of you guys out there, and I do like that idea, so I'm going to roll with it, and that's what we're going to be doing on a future episode of Fresh Build Friday. So, viewer out there, I know who you are. I know you're watching. You have been noted, and you are in the queue as far as Fresh Build Friday videos goes. Now, on the coils, I've got some of this stuff right here. This is Man from Nantucket. Yeah, say all the jokes now. Get them out of your system. This stuff is really good. It's like a nice snickerdoodle cookie. This is by ACK E-Liquid, a local guy from Connecticut. Came up with this flavor, and it's delicious. It's really tasty. It's sweet. It's kind of like a nice sugar cookie, almost like a sugar cookie base to it with a little bit of a cinnamon sugar and just sweetness on top, and that just kind of does it for me. And yeah, it's good stuff. It's vaping pretty nice on here right now, and actually I just kind of want to have a vape on it, so let's do that. So Alex, if you're watching this, dude, big shout out, big ups to you, man. This stuff is delicious. I apologize that it took me so long to get around to trying this one out, because he actually gave it to me at the Vapor Trail event in Connecticut last year. I think it was like September. But yeah, it took me a while to get to this one, but it was worth the wait because it is great stuff. You should try it out. Next up, we have my Cool Fire Ace and the little Slipstream tank on top. And I absolutely love this combo. This combo is awesome. The tank and the mod just work so perfectly together. I think the Slipstream tank is one of the best new tanks out there. And no, it's not for huge clouds of vapor. And no, it's not, you know, the craziest RDTA with 8 different coil head options and blah, 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 blah. It's just one of those things. It's simple, it's effective, it doesn't leak, and it just works for me. I don't know what it is that I love so much about it, but it's great. The Slipstream tank is amazing. In the tank, I've got some of this stuff right here. This is Rollin' Dough by Great Falls Vapor. He sent me a couple of bottles of that and love it. I never, ever thought I could get into a cinnamon flavor as much as I am now. I don't know, man. Cinnamon just never did it for me. I just couldn't do it. But this one is like a nice, warm, kind of cinnamon bun pastry thing with a big thing of whipped cream on top. And it's nice and smooth. It's got that little bit of, you know, cinnamon spice with a little bit of the sweetness as well. Just so evenly balanced. You know, there's really nothing that sticks out too much in my mind with this flavor here, and I absolutely love it. I do like his other one better, which is Let Them Vape Cake. That's kind of like a, how can I describe it? It's like a dark chocolate devil's food cake. It's almost like an Oreo. That's kind of the flavor that I get out of it, but I think there's a little bit of berry in there as well. But I do like that one a little bit better than the Rollin' Dough. However, this one is top-notch as well. So let's go ahead and have a vape on this one. And as we say here in Western Massachusetts, it's wicked good. Dude, this stuff is so good. I'm definitely going to be vaping on that for quite some time. Just kind of felt like changing it up. You know, I haven't done too many desserty flavors recently, so I really just wanted to kind of dive into a couple good dessert flavors. And I'm glad I picked what I picked because it's good stuff, and I've been really loving it the past couple of weeks. So last but not least, we've got this right here, the JUUL. The JUUL is, I think, kind of a game changer in a certain sense. There's really nothing to it, essentially. It's just a little tiny pod system. It's super simple to operate, and whenever I feel excessively stressed or anything like that, I reach for the JUUL, and it's my stress reliever vape. And that's kind of what vaping is about to me, I suppose. That's what vaping should be. I'm really impressed, I gotta say. The flavor-wise, they're okay. Not too wowed by any particular flavor except for the Cool Mint. Cool Mint is my jam. Cool Mint reminds me of what I used to smoke, and that is what would get a lot of people to quit smoking in my mind. So Again, more about this in the full review. I'm just going to puff on it. And don't think for a single second that since the JUUL is so small and it doesn't have a ton of power that it can't produce vapor. Obviously, this thing does produce a decent amount of vapor, probably more than what my original starter kit did, which was the Magma kit by Volcano. That was 5 years ago? 5 years ago, I bought a Magma kit from Volcano, which is just basically the cylindrical e-cig with a original bridgeless dripping atomizer, for those of you that are old enough to remember that. But yeah, the original dripping atomizer, I got one of those, and this thing blows it out of the water, honestly, and it's for less than half the cost of one of those things originally, which is crazy. So really digging the JUUL. I really recommend it for anyone out there that's a stress vapor, I suppose we should call that. For anyone that just vapes for the stress factor, this thing works a treat. I really do recommend it for you guys. So that's what I've been vaping on this week. Let's move on to our next topic. Vape drama alert. That's right, we got some juicy gossip for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about something that may not seem too serious from the outside, but when you actually dive down and look at it up close, yeah, it's pretty darn stupid. And that is the Vape Master app. And yes, it is a game for Android and iOS that is out that is dealing with vaping, which sounds awesome. You know, everyone wants everything to be vape related. And if you can play a game on your phone that's having to do with vaping or anything like that, then awesome, really cool. But this one in particular is very insulting to vapors. And I found this article on rpad.tv. It says, Vaping Diaries number 384, Vape Master app insults vapors. And it really just caught my eye, and I had to check it out and share it, because this is something that can be very serious. This is basically having to do with our public image and what we look like as vapors to the people on the outside world that are not in this industry. To us, it's something goofy and funny and silly, but to outside people, it just makes us look like douchebags. And I, for one, don't want to be looked at like a vaping douche. I don't know about you guys out there, but I find that to be pretty darn insulting. So as far as the game is concerned, it looks like I haven't played it myself. I don't want to even give them the credit for downloading or anything like that. I'm not sure if it costs money or whatever, but it looks like you can choose your mod. You can have different accessories. You can have, you know, goofy shit like a man bun and a stupid hat and a beard, and you get to choose what mod you have and everything else. And you get points for blowing clouds in people's faces. And I, for one, am very respectful when I'm in public, and even if I'm allowed to vape in a certain area or whatever, I try to be as respectful as I can of other people's space. I don't go blowing clouds in people's faces or anything like that, and I am very, very respectful of those around me, and I'm sure all of you out there are as well. But with that, there are a few bad eggs in the bunch, and people blowing clouds all over the place saying, oh, it's not smoke, it's vapor, who cares, why do you care? And that just really makes us look like fuckboys, and I for one, don't want to look like that to other people. And that is what is giving vaping a bad public image. And I hate to say this, but we have to be adults sometimes, and this is kind of one of those times. I know a vaping game sounds great. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like something that you would want to download and play. However, it's just not going to be a good look for us vapors. And yeah, it says here in the description of the game, it says, are you ready to become a vape guru? Grab your mod and blow massive clouds to fill the room with vapor. Beware of security guard. Beat your noob opponents and at different locations like bar, theater, or even stadium in this first vaping game ever. Change your style. Lots of items from haircut and caps to eyeglasses and stickers are waiting for you. Upgrade your vapor and battery. Begin with low capacity battery, end with gigantic mod with ultimate vapor. Compete friends in Vape Duel online, earn points, rank up, and become Vape Master. I'm reading it right there. That is actually the description. So I'm going to repeat myself and reiterate the fact that this is giving us a bad public image. That is what this whole thing is all about right now, and it may seem like a harmless kind of thing that, a ha-ha, a little joke at how much of a douchebag vapors are. But this is the type of thing that, lawmakers are going to look at and go, well, oh, look, they're trying to appeal to children with an app on, Android and iPhone and stuff like that. And to me, that is not a good thing. So let's keep the games away from, iPhones and stuff like that, and let's focus on the real goal here, which is getting people to quit smoking. And even the article here, it says vaping is a form of harm reduction that has helped many people successfully quit smoking tobacco cigarettes. That's an excellent thing. With the industry still growing and government agencies funded by pharmaceutical and big tobacco money trying to kill the business, the perception of vaping is fragile. Vaping needs to be portrayed in a positive way. Vape Master does the opposite. And basically, I'm just going to leave it there. So this is something in my mind that just kind of needs to go away as soon as possible. I urge you to not check it out. I urge you to just read the article, look at the screenshots there, and basically judge it for yourself based on the article, because that, to me, is enough. I feel like that's enough evidence for me to never even want to touch this game, never want me to come close to this game. I don't want to hear any more about it. I hope this is the end of the story. I'm washing my hands of the whole ordeal. That's the end, then that's it. That's all I got to say about that. So let's move on to our next topic. It's time once again we talk about advocacy. That's right, we haven't talked about advocacy in quite a few weeks, and that's mainly because most of the state sessions end towards the end of the year, and now they're just getting ready to get going for the next session now. So be on the lookout, be ready for what's coming in your state. And the people over at Americans for Tax Reform have come up with this handy-dandy little map that shows the risk level state by state, and basically it's directly correlating with overspending problems. And basically what that means is if your state is broke, then they're going to find a new way to make money, and most of the time they pick on industries like our own and to make up that difference. So they have this whole map here all laid out with color codes and everything else that basically shows the risk level in your state. So they list all the different states, how much they are in debt and how much they overspent and everything else. So we're looking at a lot of money here, and I'm a little bit nervous about this stuff because, we haven't talked really about advocacy in a while, because after August 8th, it was basically like countdown to the end of the world, basically. And now we're kind of going back to the state level. We have to be diligent in our states and make sure that we can oppose any tax that's on the table. And it says in the article here that most state tax, most vapor taxes are kind of lumped in with other packages. It says in each of the 7 states that will impose an excise tax on vapor products in 2017, 6 came about as part of a tax package between 2012 and 2016 that also increased the state cigarette tax rate. So they're kind of, hiding us behind cigarettes. And, to the normal taxpayer, to the outside person, they look at a cigarette tax that, especially the non-smokers out there, they look at a cigarette tax and they go, sure, screw them. They decided to smoke. Let's just screw them over and raise the tax on a pack of cigarettes. Now, what they don't realize is they're also hurting the vapor industry. For those states that are lumped in underneath a tax, a cigarette tax, they're also going to be hurting the vapor industry, which is, of course, a way to get off cigarettes. So what can you do? Well, first and foremost, become a member of CASA. That is of utmost importance right now because, first of all, it's free. Second of all, they will send you email alerts for any elevated risks in your state. If there's a bill on the table that's going to ban e-cigarettes, or if there's a bill on the table that's going to raise taxes, they will email you ahead of time as soon as they get that information so that we can assemble and gather at the State House and do our thing by opposing that and speaking our mind to the powers that be, the lawmakers out there. So we need our voices heard. That is first and foremost. The most important thing is to have your voice heard, and the best way to do that is obviously become a member of CASA. Another thing you could do is check out the Americans for Tax Reform article. Of course, I'll put a link in the description below. And if your state is marked as one of those ones that might end up seeing a tax increase in 2017, be on high alert, because this is not a time to joke. This is not a time to rest. This is a time for action. And this is the statewide advocacy is going to help our cause in the long run. It's bad enough we're fighting the FDA on a federal level, but now we have to look out for vaping bans and tax increases in our own backyard. So just be on alert about these things, guys, because you never know when lawmakers are actually going to vote on a bill or anything like that. If there's a call to action from CASA, make sure you pay attention to it and follow through with some action. And with that being said, that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave me comments in the box below about anything that we talked about in this episode, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback. Also, check out the advocacy links I have in the description below. I've got them down there for you so you can fight for your right to vape. And check me out on my different social medias. I've got Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to give me a couple bucks on Patreon, that would be awesome as well. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, vape on.